2 lines from the bottom, Yurches Amid Aleph. Itmar. Sikich al gabe achsadra. So we started this case, we learned this case extensively. We have an achsadra. Achsadra is a porch, a pavilion. We have these 3, we have these 3 porches. You throw schach on top of them in case you needed a picture. Here is your picture. And it's in your picture books also. And then what do? So if sheyesh lo psimin, if you have psimin, what are psimin? Psimin are the areas coming down. You make the poles coming off the sides, then ksheira. Ein lo psimin, abayim amar ksheira, rava amar psula. Does everyone have the picture in their minds? Because this is going to be the picture for the whole day. If anyone doesn't have the picture? You have the picture? Just look over here. Yeah, you get the picture on the back? The bottom of your chesam and alf. Very bottom. Okay, so Abaye says kasher, Rava says basel. Just to remind ourselves. Very good. So we have, again, you lay down the schach. We said if you make these vertical beams, then we have a machlekes if it is good. We did this already. Yes, we started this already. Yes.
No, when do we do this one?
Which one?
Duggan? Here.
Sachanto, Heligadugim. That was Wednesday. Wednesday night was fish night. And unfortunately, I didn't say that a chazar Thursday morning. Then it was at a chaz on a Thursday night. So the Heliga fish are going to have to, we'll come back to Nemir Hashem. But for now, if it doesn't have those beams, Abayam or Kashira, excuse me, Abayam Kashira Rav. Now I want to remind, last week, someone asked, 1 second, what about the Mishnah? Someone said Daifan Akuma, right? I think Rav Neichel was your kasha, that if it's within 4 amos of the wall, what happens to Daifan Akuma? So I said, let's just for the moment assume it's more than 4 amos from the wall, but everyone stay tuned. The Gemara is going to get there in a moment. So again, everyone agrees if there are these vertical beams, it's kosher. Ein lob simin is a machlokes. Abaye amar ksheira, Rava amar psula. Abaye amar ksheira. Why, as we turn over to Yudchasam and Beis, Amrinan pi tekra yared v'saisem. The edge of the porch comes down and seals it up. Rava amar psula lo amrina pi tekra yared v'saisem. If it sounds familiar, it's good because we did all of this Gemara. But it's good to get a running head start or a chazara, or both. Oh, this is good stuff. Oh, Rabbi Kogish Jr., God bless you. I can't do this while I talk. These are very good. Thank you for the question, so I could eat. I appreciate it. No, very good. 100%. What are you asking? The Mishnah said it's kosher. So now we're saying if it doesn't have a semen, it's a machlekes. Why is it a machlekes? The Mishnah said it's kosher. Beautiful. Gemara's going to get there in 1 moment. Maybe I'll take 2 because the candy's adding an extra moment, but it's good. A little extra sugar injection, never hurt anyone. Pi tikra yored v'saisim. Okay. Rava Amsula, I'm going to be tikra. So you're asking Rava, really, right? Good. Amar le Rava la Abaye. So Rava said it's possible. Rava asked Abaye lididach. According to you, the Amrit, Pi tikra yored v'saisim. Afilu, Rabbi Nachi, Erev Tov. Afilu, Hivchis, Daifin Amsai. What if you're missing the middle wall? If we hold of Pi tikra, so we know you need to have 3 walls. Why do you have 3 walls? Get rid of the middle wall, and the edge of the schach comes down. What's the big deal? So someone here, I think that's last week, maybe get rid of all the walls. Al-Khaira might be the same kasha. Taisus gets involved in this. Let's just keep it simple. But says the Gemara, if you hold a Pi tikra, what does that mean? That means whenever you have an edge, and we're focusing on having an edge. Oh, very good. But he didn't say Pi tikra. Now, if you remember, Lemaisa, when we learned that Gemara, as we were discussing the Havamina, this Havamina Pi tikra came out back then, but the Gemara didn't say that, and we stuck with what the Gemara said. But here we're saying that whenever you have an edge, it comes down. So asks the Gemara, Rava says to Abaye, if you hold a Pi tikra, get rid of the middle wall and everything should be good. Amar le, Abaye says no. Rava, you went too far. I admit to you in that case. Why? It's like an open mavi. Now, what does that mean? Shkoyach, it's an open mavi. Very good. Abaya, the whole kasha was that it's open. Erev Tov, Hatzlacha Rabbah, Simcha, Simir Hashem. Everyone holds it's an open thing. Very good, but it still comes down. So the way that they explain over here is the Vardan of Mavi Mafulash is that traffic goes through. Meaning, very good, you could say Pi Tikra, but you can't say Pi Tikra if the ganze Welt is walking through your imaginary wall.
Either it's a good sukkah or it's not a good sukkah. People.
It's good.
Totally in what's happening.
So let's explain a little bit deeper. Let's explain it. One second. Good.
Israel, no one's going anywhere.
So the truth is, not the first time we saw. As you remember, we saw a case in which we spoke about walls coming down from the schach, and we said if the wall doesn't hit the floor, we had a machlokes if it's good, and the lashon of the Mishnah was gidiyim baikim bay, that the goats walk through it. Who cares? The goats walk through if it's a wall to wall. The answer is. And again, we're playing with Allah Moshe Messinais here, so it's a little bit difficult. But at some level, the answer is we need to have a something that is. Oh no! You need to have something. It's okay. We need to have something. It's okay. We'll take a food break. Don't worry. We'll wait for you guys. Don't worry. It's all good. It's all good. We need to have something. Yes, everyone listen up. I'm going to review what we just said, and then I'm going to answer your question. We have a Gemara. The Gemara says that we have a porch. We lay the schach on top of the porch. Says the Gemara, we have a machlokes. If it works, how? Pi tikra, imaginary walls. Says Rava Tabai, if you have imaginary walls, 2 walls should suffice. Bai says no, because people walk through it. Fractor of Nayach, who cares if people walk through it? Lamaisa, it's an imaginary wall, it's an imaginary wall. So clearly, at some level, understanding is that even within the world of fake walls, it needs to some level block off people. We saw this numerous times. We saw this by the well. We had those corner things around the well. The whole machlekes was people walk through it. So it's difficult, maskim, but that is what the Gemara says. I think it's crispy beef, maybe. I didn't make it. Don't worry. I'll tell you when I make it. I just prepare sushi platters. I didn't get a job at Evergreen yet. Listen, you never know. The popcorn breaker broke. Maybe it was a sign. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's a sign I shall work and make a popcorn machine. Either way, Amir Tisha, let's go. Weiter. Says the Heilige Gemara. So Abai is maskim that if you have 2 walls, it's not good. Says the Gemara again, we're smack in the middle of Yud Chesem and Beis. The first word on the line is Hamifulash. Hamifulash. We're going to wait another 10 seconds for the chaver to move their cars to come. Everyone can take a moment to grab a bite of food. Buy a candy, a drink, sing a niggin, awkwardly stare at each other.
All enjoyable things.
Yeah. Or just enjoy silence. Yeah, I can't feel my toast. It's March 11th. Here, good kasha. Baruch Hashem.
Yeah, then the rest of the week's gonna be nice.
I'm ready for summer.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Windstorm last night.
What was going on there?
I have a forest broke off of my trees.
I saw it also. I was a little bit nervous that my car was gonna get nailed. I was wondering, thinking, could a house blow down? Should pick a little Three Piggies story over there, you know? Okay, Chevra, let's go. Lema. Chevra, we're smack in the middle of your Chesem and Beis. Lema. First word in line is Hamifulash. Lema, Baye Rava, Beplukta de Ravu Shmuel Kamifdi. Let us suggest the machlekes Abai and Rava is machlekes Abai Rava is machlekes Rav and Shmuel. Again, what's the machlekes Abai and Rava? Do we say Pi Tikra Yared V'Saisim? What does Pi Tikra Yared V'Saisim mean? It means that even without walls, we have imaginary walls that come down. Those who need a picture, here's a picture. I love how I say those who need a picture, and I show Rabav, you're the only one that gets to see the picture, and you can't see it anyways because it's seen in your phone and it's blurry, and you're not looking at anything. Yeah, my camera's backwards. I know. Something's weird. Oh, because it's on the wrong camera. Now we figured it out. Now it's there we go. Imaginary walls. Givaldik. Says the Gemara, let's say the machlekes Abai and Rav is machlekes Rav and Shmuel de itmar. We learned Achsadra Bibika. More pictures. Baruch Hashem. Achsadra bibikshah. What's an achsadra? Achsadra is a pavilion. What's a pavilion? That's the word when you buy like 6 fags and it says, we're going to be meeting in the pavilion. It was, what in the world's a pavilion? No one knows what a pavilion is, but when you see the picture, then you know what a pavilion is. This is a pavilion. Pavilion means basically a covering without walls. It is a pavilion. Yeah, you know, exactly.
It's a great trip.
Yeah, Avada. What's the pavilion? The area over there. Yeah, it's like a bad canopy, an awkward chuppah, a bad sukkah. Either way, says the Gemara, we have a machlokes, Abaye v'Rava plukta, the Rav Shmuel kamivki. De itmar. Achsadra bibika. Guess what? Rav says, on Shabbos, motor letaltel bekulai. You're in this massive achsadra. You're in this massive roofed area, no walls. Says Rav, you can carry. Rav, how in the world are you able to carry? We don't carry on Shabbos. We don't hold of the evil Flatbush Erev. We hold there's no Erev in Flatbush. So how are you carrying in your massive roof? To imagine, just to understand what's going on over here, yeah? You're in the middle of Avenue J. You close off the street. You rent one of these massive tents, but you decide, what do you need the walls for? It's like living in a garage. We don't have walls. We freeze our toes. Maybe it's the summer. What do you need walls for? So you just have the top. Can you carry in that area? You show up to the bar mitzvah. And like, what in the world's going on here? How do you pick up anything? There's no walls. We're standing in the middle of the street. Rav says, Motor l'taltel bekulai. Why? De'amrinan. Because we say, Pi tikra yarid v'saysem. The edge of the roof goes down, descends, yarid, goes down, v'saysem, and it closes off. Shmuel Amar. Shmuel says, Rav, you lost at a shtickle. Ein metalton ba'el dalet amos. You can move dalet amos, meaning that means you're not allowed to move. That means, which by the way, if you stop, this is one of those things. We Baruch Hashem live in Erev, so we don't have to know these things. And those who grew up with that in Erev, when they needed to know, probably didn't know anyways. But either way, if you stand still, you're allowed to move things, right? If your hat's, the yarmulke's falling off the hat, so you're allowed to stop and readjust life, which is not as you're moving. So says Shmuel, within dalet amos. Why? So says the Gemara, let us suggest that our machlokes Abaye and Rava is machlokes Rav and Shmuel. Very simple, very givaldik. Answers the Gemara, no. Now let's focus in. The kasha is very simple because we just line it up. Pitikra, no pitikra. Everything is good. Abaye and Rava, pitikra, no pitikra. Rav and Shmuel, pitikra, no pitikra. Abaye, Rava, by a sukkah. Rav and Shmuel by a pavilion. Everything adds up beautifully. And of course, what's the kasha, by the way? One of those things I think gets lost sometimes. What's the Gemara asking? Lema Abaye Rava. Let us suggest that Abaye and Rava are arguing about Rav and Shmuel. So who cares? Let them both argue. Isn't Gan Shas one big machlekes? The answer is we never like latter Amarayim to be mimicking earlier machlekesim. It's almost like, me and another local Rav here would be like, I hold the Flatbush Erev is good, and he holds the Flatbush Erev not good. You tippish. Ramesh already waited on it, and this one already waited. Well, what are you doing? You're having a machlekes that was had? So that is what goes on in the Gemara. The Gemara suggests, where is this? Are you going to tell me Abaye and Rava have the same machlekes that Rav and Shmuel already had? We never like it to be. Now, sometimes, uniquely throughout Shas, sometimes we say Einach Nami, but we don't like it to be. But anyways, that is always the kasha of Lema. Let us say that it is the machlekes that was had prior. Says the Gemara. Now, let's not go deeper and get lost. Let's continue. Answers the Gemara. Aliba di Shmuel. According to Shmuel, what did Shmuel hold? What? Ein metalton. Shmuel held by the pavilion. You can't carry. Says the Gemara, according to Shmuel, loy pligi. There's no machlekes. Meaning, even Abaye, who holds by a sukkah, we say Pitikra, will agree to Shmuel that you can't carry by the pavilion. Keep ligi. What's the machlekes? Aliba di Rav. Rav, who said that you could, carry on Shabbos. That's the machlekes. Let's explain. Di Rav. Keep ligi di Rav. Abaye, ki Rav. Abaye says Pitikra. Like Rav says Pitikra. Abaye says you have a kasher sukkah. Rav says you carry on Shabbos is Gavaldik. What about Rava? The Rava Amar Lecha, but Rava who holds by a sukkah, you do not say pitikra. Now, let's line up the cases so we can have this. We have two cases on display. Case A is our pavilion. Okay, let's just envision this. A pavilion is what? We have a bunch of poles and we have a top. We have no walls. Case A, Exhibit A. Exhibit B is we have we have a bunch of buildings. We have porches coming off the sides of the building, and we have schach coming down over it. Okay, two different cases. Says the Gemara, very gishmak. V'Rava Amar Lecha as follows. Ad kan loy omar Rav Hasam. Rav only said his din over there by Shabbos, by the pavilion. Hasam, why? Ela dimechitzais lachsadro Davidi. What's the reason? Because the mechitzais are there for the achsadra. When you're standing inside the pavilion and you look up, you see tent. So now, in the world of Halach Moshe Misinai, we can understand that the walls come down. In Givaldik, it's made for the inside. Look at the contrast, and I think this will be clear. Aval in the case of the porches, the lav lahachi ovid, it's not made for you, it's made for the building. Everyone look at the picture. It's something you need to see the picture. When you see the picture, it's very gishmak. Everyone look at the picture. When we have these porches surrounding the exterior of the building, and we're suggesting, let us say, P. Tikra, over here. Here, this picture over here. Look at the picture on the top of page 63. No, we'll go one back. It's easier. In this picture, when we say that the walls, if you were to make imaginary walls, when you're inside the imaginary walls, which way are they going? They're not going to make the sukkah. They're going to make the porch because they're coming off of the porch. Meaning, imaginary walls come off of a roof. If this is the roof and I'm underneath here, the imaginary wall comes down. So where does the imaginary wall make a wall for? For under here. Does it make a wall for you outside? No. So says the Gemara, that's the difference. When I'm in a chsadra, I'm in a pavilion, so I'm standing in this area, so now it's very good. I could say imaginary walls. But in the sukkah case, I have a guy over here, a guy over here, a guy over here, and I'm standing in the middle. And I want to say, hey, imaginary walls, I have schach and tami. No imaginary walls, buddy. Doesn't work for you. The imaginary walls are only made for the area in which they are created. So says the Gemara, let's read it again. V'Rava Amar Lecha, Rava holds we don't say pitikra by the sukkah. Rav only says it didn't over there by the pavilion when you're inside that tent. The mechitzos are made for the achsadra. You're inside the achsadra. So it makes a lot of sense that they come down and make you in an interior area that you could carry on Shabbos. And that's why it would not work, and that's why it would not be a kosher sukkah. It's time for Meir, but I want to just do one more line because it's the kasha that everyone was asking. Tanan, we learned in our Mishnah, said the Mishnah, it only is kosher if it's Dalit Amos. Why? Doifan Akuma. Vamai, name it be the same. Even if it's more than Dalit Amos, it should be kosher, as you all were asking. The Gemara asks it the other way, but it's the same kasha. Say be Dikra. Take him, I believe, the way. Kishishra as Kiriyav, which we'll talk about tomorrow. B'siyata Dishmaya.